Hi, my friends, it's Miss Alexander, and today we're working on Module 6, Lesson 8 of EngageNY. Our objective today is to use understanding of fraction equivalence to investigate decimal numbers using the area model to express in different units. Let's review our vocabulary words so you know what you're doing. Go ahead and pause the video and do that. I'm going to move on to the steps. Here we go. Steps. We're going to highlight the area model represent the given amount of units. We're going to add how many tenths are in the area model. Then we're going to add how many hundredths are in the area model. And then something to start thinking about is, what do you notice about the answers you find in the tenths and hundredths place? Here's the place value chart. It's really important we know where everything places when we're writing a decimal number out. Let's look at our first example. So our first example, you guys, it says use the area model to decompose the units. Okay, it says I have 1 ones and 3 tenths. Both of them say that. But this one's asking us for how many tenths there are, and this one's asking for how many hundredths. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, there's no hundredths, you guys. But apparently they're looking for a number. Let's go look and see what this means. So I'm going to do 1 ones and 3 tenths. So I can keep the colors true. I need to figure out what color is ones. Ones is purple. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to highlight the whole box because that's 1. And ones are purple. Make sure you're using your paint can. And then 3 tenths. And I know this whole row, this whole column, my bad, it's a column, is a tenth. So I know I need 3 of those, but I need to do all of it. And it is green. Okay, so how many tenths are in this one? And remember, I'm counting the columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's all the way covered, which is 10. And now I count this one. Remember, I'm just counting the column. 1, 2, 3. This one is 3. Then I add 10 plus 3 is 13. So right up here, I'm going to write 13 tenths. So what I would like to do is write this in decimal form. So I know 1 whole is before the decimal and 3 tenths is behind the decimal. And we're going to turn that into an improper fraction to a mixed number. So I'm going to put 13 over 10 because it's 1 and 3 tenths. So 13 tenths is the same as 1 and 3 tenths. And now we're going to write it as a mixed number, 1 and 3 tenths. Sorry about this, you guys. Now let's go ahead and do our hundredths. Now our hundredths, we know that there's 10 columns. Let's see how many rows we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we've learned that if we multiply our length and our width together, we get the area of what's inside. So if I multiply 10 by 10, I'll know that there's 100 boxes right here. So I'm going to write 100, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. I know I have 10 down because there's 10 in a column. I need to know how many columns I have. 1, 2, 3. So now I do 3 times 10. That gives me 30. So I'm going to write 30 here. So now I'm going to add 100 plus 30. That gives me 130. So right over here, I'm going to write up at the top in our problem 130. And then I'm going to do 1 point, because we know we have a whole number. Now I got to turn that 3 tenths into hundredths. So that would be 30. So it'd be 1.30. And now I'm going to change that into an improper fraction. And I do that by taking the decimal away and putting it over 100. And then we'll turn it into a mixed number by taking the 1 off and do 30 over 100. Let's go look at how this works when we don't have the area model. Use what we know to complete this problem without an area model. So we have 10.7 and we want it in just tenths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove the decimal and write 107 tenths. Now what I want to do also is write this in fraction form. So I see that I have 10 wholes, right? In 7 tenths. So I'm going to put that over 10, which is also equal. Remember, I just did an improper fraction. Now I want to do a mixed number. So I'm going to go 10 and 7 tenths. Let's go ahead and do this hundreds. And one thing I did notice is, see this number? This number is telling us what we do with my decimal. So let's look at this one. We got 6,071 hundredths. All I need to do is remove my decimal because I moved it 2 places to the right so that I have the number they're looking for. So let's go ahead and write this one in fraction form. So I have 6,071 and I'm putting it over 100. That's the improper fraction, and now we'll write it in mixed number. So it's 60, 71 hundredths. 60 and 71 hundredths. As you're doing this, take a breath. You got it. It's okay to make mistakes. Remember, through mistakes, we learn, and that is a good thing. Take a breath. You got this. Remember to smile, giggle, and wiggle, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.